I want to start with Jimmy Kimmel, who went on the podcast of comedian Sarah Silverman and said a bunch of crazy, okay, including, I'll just give you this one for flavor. He's yet another leftist who's thinking about fleeing America. So afraid is he of Trump.
I did get Italian citizenship.
You do?
I do.
That's amazing.
I do have that. And what's going on is as bad as you thought it was going to be.
Way worse.
It's so much.
Jimmy Kimmel still walks onto his stage like it's 2005. Cue cards in hand, that awkward half smile, and jokes that land about as hard as a Nerf dart. But tonight isn't the usual late-night routine. Megyn Kelly doesn't show up as a friendly guest. She arrives like a one-woman wrecking crew. No filter, no hesitation, metaphorically carrying a flamethrower. And what follows doesn't feel like comedy at all. It feels like a demolition derby where Kimmel is stuck behind the wheel, Kelly is the bulldozer, and the audience is left wondering if Jimmy even read the waiver before stepping in.
Oh, sure, because we looked to Jimmy Kimmel to figure out insights into how Donald Trump is thinking. The absurdity of this. I would say go, but I love Italy too much to say that. They don't deserve this. I'm sorry, but he should go to Ireland. They do deserve this. They're as woke as they come. My people, who are like among the toughest people on earth, or were, have gone completely woke. But, you know, I'm Irish and Italian, so I have empathy. And he should not go to Italy. It's too beautiful a country to host Jimmy Kimmel. And why would they have given him citizenship to begin with? But in any event, he should go. He should definitely leave. But he won't. He's just saying that to get plaudits from fellow leftist Sarah Silverman and
For years, Kimmel has played Hollywood's court jester. Light jokes for celebrities, cheap shots at middle America, and an attitude like his cue cards are sacred scripts from the mountain of comedy. He's polished, predictable, and convinced people show up to admire him, not laugh. Then, Megyn Kelly walks in. Suddenly, the jokes don't just miss, they bounce back like a boomerang and smack Jimmy right in the face with one clear message: reality check.
The day when I was on the primetime of Fox and you were on the primetime of CNN, a couple of hours after our shows ended, late night comics would come on, and they occasionally would make us laugh, Piers. I mean, occasionally they understood that they were in the game of making everyone laugh. As you know, they've abandoned that game now, and they're just political operatives out there. Colbert, Kimmel, Seth Meyers, who I struggle to even mention that guy's name. He's such an absolute.
Kelly doesn't come armed with punchlines. She comes with receipts, whole filing cabinets worth, and a verbal flamethrower that leaves real burn marks. The irony is impossible to miss. Kimmel wasn't always Hollywood's morality cop. Go back to The Man Show. There's Jimmy chugging beer and cracking jokes that would get him canceled in minutes today. Fast forward, and now he's the self-appointed priest of woke comedy. Sure, okay.
He will never leave his very lucrative but loser of a show on ABC's late night. He's not going to abandon that because feeling important and like he matters is too important to Jimmy Kimmel. But he's got to get stroked by leftists by saying he's gotten Italian citizenship, and he may indeed exercise it by leaving a United States that even Donald Trump must feel has gone too far. Okay, not our guy for insights on Trump's thinking.
It's like watching the class clown suddenly turn into the hall monitor still wearing the whoopee cushion. The same guy who built his career on edgy humor is now lecturing the country like some late-night therapist. If hypocrisy had a time slot, it would probably look a lot like Jimmy Kimmel Live. And Megyn Kelly saw that contradiction from a mile away.
Words for them, Piers?
Just get over yourselves. Honestly, it's so pathetic. Watching grown men weep because actually the real reason they're weeping, they know they've spent years over-demonizing Trump as the new Hitler, and he's going to wreck everything and wreck America. He's terrible, he's a fascist, he's a neo-Nazi, blah, 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 blah. And what happened this week? America, having already seen Trump as president for 4 years, and seen 4 years of what then followed under Biden and Harris, they went out in record numbers, white, black, Latino, men, women, all demographics, and they voted for apparently the
Kelly's track record speaks for itself. Fox News, NBC, now her own independent platform. She's built a career by running straight into controversy like it's a contact sport. She doesn't need canned laughter or flashing applause signs to feel relevant. When she goes after someone, it isn't a cute comeback, it's open-heart surgery with a chainsaw. So when Kimmel took a swing at her, he didn't poke a bear. He pulled the pin on a grenade and handed it to himself.
Kimmel was very upset that Donald Trump took a shot at Taylor Swift. Trump was making fun of the fact that she got booed openly at the Super Bowl and he got cheered to the high heavens. And Jimmy Kimmel didn't much like that and had the following to say.
At the game, he got a big thrill because some of the crowd booed Taylor Swift.
Okay. By the way, I was there all the way through and she was gone. She was missing in action for most of the second half. So I don't know what he's talking about. Trump left at his previously designated time, which was, I think, 8:02. That had been scheduled, and that is when he left. And it's a little harder, Jimmy, when you're the president of the United States, because if you leave when everybody else is leaving, you completely F them over because no one can move anywhere. It's total gridlock in the city.
Kelly didn't waste time on quick one-liners. She went straight for the jugular. Jimmy's hypocrisy. How does a guy who made a name from offensive skits suddenly become America's moral authority? How does a shock value comedian transform into a finger-wagging life coach between celebrity interviews? These weren't jokes, they were mirror shots. And when the mirror shows the emperor has no clothes, the laughter ends quickly.
Watch Kimmel, I can't stand him. The best thing I can say about Jimmy Kimmel is that he's friends with Adam Carolla, who's a truly decent, honorable, great guy. But Kimmel doesn't strike me that way. But Fallon is not a bad guy. Fallon is a sweetheart. But Fallon's shtick is completely empty and has lost all sense of entertainment. I take him out of the three of them any day of the week. But Fallon's programming, forgive me, it's not smart. In no way is it into
Hollywood, of course, rushed to defend him. Kelly is irrelevant, they said. But irrelevant people don't trend for days. They don't ignite arguments across every platform. The real problem is simple. Jimmy's ratings are slipping. Late-night TV isn't fading, it's already embalmed, dressed, and waiting for the funeral. Why? Because it stopped being funny. It turned into smug TED Talks with a few punchlines taped to the side.
This past 2 weeks, they had the Kennedy Center honors the other night where Joe Biden couldn't say Dionne Warwick. He kept calling her Diane, and he didn't know who Barry Gibb was. He kept calling him Billy. You know who else was honored? At the Kennedy Center. You know who else? Billy Crystal. Just FYI, do you know who once opened up the Academy Awards in full blackface?
Oh,
Billy Crystal. Billy Crystal. And do you know who's going to be hosting the Academy Awards this year? Jimmy Kimmel. Do you know who's worn blackface repeatedly and spoken inner city sort of urban accent saying she needs to darn those socks? Jimmy Kimmel.
Meanwhile, Kelly doesn't need a network badge, a writer's room, or recycled humor. She speaks directly to her audience, and millions listen because they know it's actually her voice, not some intern 3 floors up. That's why this clash felt different. Kimmel represents a fading TV format, kept alive by studio lights and habit. Kelly represents sharp authenticity and the internet's power. Goliath had cue cards. David had Wi-Fi.
Last week, his average was, in the overall, meaning all viewers, 1.5 million. In the key demo, 236,000. Tucker would have been embarrassed to pull that on any night he was on the Fox News channel. That's what they're getting now. Tucker's numbers were 3 times what Jimmy Kimmel gets. And Tucker's little basement video that he did from clearly like his cabin that he broadcast out of Maine in literally has 21 million views. Okay? 21 million views. Whereas, as I point out, on ABC, a massive network that comes into your home for free, that you have to make no effort to find, at best, Jimmy Kimmel can get 1.5 million. He needs to have a little self-perspective before going out there and hurling these insults because
The fallout was brutal. Kimmel tried brushing it off, but the internet doesn't forget. Clips of Kelly exposing his double standards went viral. Jimmy wasn't trending because of a joke anymore. He was the joke. PR spin didn't stand a chance. Fans tried defending him, but their excuses were thinner than a Hollywood juice cleanse. It's just comedy, they said. Except Kelly wasn't laughing at the bit. She was laughing at the hypocrisy wearing a suit and tie.
I don't know what they saw. They saw what we saw. They saw the frail elderly man who needed help getting off the stage. They're just too chicken shit to tell us about it, because they accurately deduced that he could still be the Democratic nominee, and they don't want to ding him up. Maybe you give Barbara a pass. Who gives a damn what this singer saw or says? But you know what? Jimmy Kimmel happens to be employed by ABC, which happens to have a rather large news organization. And he has been one of President Trump's most vocal critics. Where are you, Jimmy? On vacation?
And here's the real punchline. Comedy is supposed to punch up, not lecture sideways. But Jimmy stopped being a comedian long ago. Now it feels like a lecture hall with commercials built in. Kelly said what everyone already sensed. Late night isn't funny anymore. It's self-righteous monologues pretending to be jokes. And the internet loved her for calling it out.
The Sunday morning show with Stephanopoulos into the evening Academy Awards broadcast with Kimmel and ABC elevating, the blackface lovin' Kimmel. They, at the same time, fired Chris Harrison, host of The Bachelor, for trying to defend one contestant on, The Bachelorette for saying, gee, I know I went to this antebellum party, a couple years ago. I guess I didn't see anything wrong with it. And all he said was, are we judging her by today's standards, or are we judging her by, old standards, whatever. He was basically trying to...
The guy who once ruled the roast had become the roast. Kelly turned Jimmy into the poster child for everything broken in late-night TV. Stale, smug, and running on autopilot. He tried moving on, aiming new jokes at new targets, but every monologue carried the shadow of her takedown. Once you become a meme, it doesn't disappear, it follows you.
Lakshmi. She, for some reason, decided to leave the kitchen and to get up in my grill back in 2018 on NBC, and she lectured me that caricaturing another race perpetuates the dehumanization of people of color. And she did go on Jimmy Kimmel.
Political show, cultural show, and it allows me to artistically with entertainment, say what I want to say. Well, show rather than say what I would say if I got on my...
So I'm sure in the next bit, she must have gone after Kimmel for his long history of misogyny and race
controversy about whether you ketchup or no ketchup.
Well, where do you stand on the ketchup on the pastel?
And that's the ultimate irony. Jimmy Kimmel, the comedian, was left speechless. Megyn Kelly, the journalist, became the accidental comic genius. She didn't even need a punchline. She simply made Jimmy the punchline, and the internet exploded. The message was clear. You don't need Hollywood's machine anymore. Kimmel had the network. Kelly had authenticity. And in 2025, authenticity wins. When the dust settles, Jimmy is still reading someone else's jokes while Kelly is writing the script everyone is actually watching.